What's up, Husker Nation? My name is Logan Merrick, and this is Husker Central. In this video, we're going to be talking about UTEP, what to know about them as we get ready to gear up for the first game of the season, baby. That's coming up. All right, here it is. We're getting real close. We're a week away. I'm going to be doing a video for every single opponent. I've been watching tape and looking up different articles and things like that about the local teams that the Huskers will be playing this year. So first on the docket is UTEP. And so I'm going to break down everything you need to know about UTEP in this game. So starting off, the first things that I really like about UTEP is their coach, Scotty Walden. Now, Scotty Walden is a first-year head coach for UTEP. He's a young guy. I like him a lot. Now, UTEP hasn't won, I made a note here, they haven't won a bowl game since 1967. So, we've been pretty upset that we even haven't been to a bowl game in a long time, but they haven't been to one in a long time and much less won one since 1967. UTEP has been a losing team for a very long time, the UTEP Miners. But that being said, I do think that Scotty Walden is the guy to make them into a contender in Conference USA. That's the conference that they play in. He's coached at Austin Peay, where he took over kind of midseason 3 or 4 years ago. But the last 2 years, in 2022, they won the conference title. And then last year in 2023, they lost in the conference title game, but was there again. And it was a great game against Chattanooga. I watched that game as I got ready for this video. And I got to say, what I saw, you're going to see with UTEP. I watched some UTEP film. It was ugly. There's a reason why their former coach was fired. And that's no offense to him. It's just it just was bad. It's really unwatchable football. And I'm talking about just small things like gap integrity and things like that just weren't there. But getting back to Scotty Walden. So Scotty Walden, Austin Peay, Southern Miss, he's coached in those places. He's coming to UTEP this year. Is his first year. Now here's the deal. Him and his coaching staff have already done a great job with UTEP. How do I know? Because per Rivals and a few other sites, they had the #1 recruiting ranking for Conference USA this year. Already #1 in their conference with their recruiting. And so that already tells you right off the bat that he's doing a good job. I watched, so they, you know how Nebraska has the Chasing 3, they have the Chasing 3 little documentary and things like that they do that are, by the way, one's coming out tonight. Make sure you go and watch that here on YouTube. Today is Monday the 19th, and it's supposed to come out at 7 o'clock tonight. I will be watching it. But UTEP has their same version of it, and I've watched all of them. And, dude, Scotty Walden is just a dude. Like, he will be the next hot thing in college football. Mark my words. If he does a great job at UTEP, you'll see him at a major conference team in the coming years, because the guy is just, he's a fireball, man. Like, he's exciting, he's passionate, but he's respectable, he has integrity. And like Matt Rule, which is what I love about Matt Rule, he's creating men of integrity, men of honor, men who love the game. They're not prima donnas, they just are lunch pail type guys, and they go to work. And so whereas Matt Rule can be passionate, he tends to be kind of more of a CEO. Scotty Walden he's down in the trenches. He's getting in the faces of guys, right? And when I say getting in the faces of guys, he's not cussing them out, anything like that. He's reminding them their job. And it's pretty incredible, man. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to watch some UTEP games this year, just because watching this entire thing, I've really grown to like Scotty Walden a lot. And I think he's going to be a great coach. So with that being said, like, high energy coach, he won some previous titles. His coaching staff, as I said, has brought in, I've got notes. So I've already kind of pre-worked some notes, and I've kind of gotten ahead of myself. As I said, his coaching staff has brought in the #1 recruiting class in Conference USA already. Let's talk about their offense. Okay. Their offense is going to be very Frost like. Scotty Walden in a quote. By the way, I watched Austin P. I watched UTEP tape, but I want to make sure that I give this writer, Adrian Brodus, who is a local writer for UTEP. I wanted to know how many players went out, how many players have transferred in. Like I wanted to know those things, and so I got a lot of my notes from him as far as like this really detailed stuff that I wouldn't get from watching tape. So, Adrian Brodus, thank you for a great article, and there's a few other articles that I went and read, but his was really good. So apparently their spring game, he notes, was really entertaining and really good. But this offense is going to be very Scott Frost like. What do I mean? Well, in this, it's quoted that's Scotty Walden wants to run a play every 12 seconds. So 12 to 14 seconds, that's moving. I will tell you why, as I'm sure if you've watched any football, why that will ultimately, I think, hurt them this year specifically, and especially in the first 4 to 5 games. I think he's going to turn this team around, but I think looking at their schedule, they play some tough games. Of course, starting out with Nebraska. So they want to they want to snap the ball every 12 seconds. Walden calls the offense the Blue Blaze. Now, they totaled in their spring game, the offense did 537 total yards in their spring game. It's moving, man. It's trying to do a lot because it's trying to accumulate right as quick as possible. They had a big roster turnover because, again, this team was really bad last year. And so they have only 40 returning players on the whole roster. And only 8 of those 40 are projected starters. So that tells you, like, it's kind of like Colorado in the sense of, and hear me, Scotty Walden is nothing like Deion Sanders. He didn't go pack your bags or anything like that. It's just they were just like Colorado in the sense they're a really bad team. Got to get some winners in there. And a lot of players came over from Austin P. A lot of transfers from there. But I digress. So with that, like Colorado, it's going to take time. The worst part of this entire team, I can tell you, watching it, was their offensive line. Really, really bad. Now, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, we got an offensive lineman from UTEP this year in the draft named Josh Klein, and he is an incredible. Like, he's turned out to be something really incredible just in the first little bit of preseason. But he didn't really flash on tape. How the Tampa Bay Buccaneers found him, I'll never know, because he didn't really flash on tape to me. He's kind of slow with his feet and things like that. But the offensive line was really rough. Like, and so Caden McConnell has been projected the starter. He was the quarterback last year. Did not show me anything on tape that scares me. Backup quarterback for Austin P transferred with Scotty Walden. He came in a couple of games for like mop-up duty, from what I understand. Doesn't have a ton of experience. So they're going with the guy who has a lot of the experience in Cade McConnell. Cade McConnell is more of a pro-style kind of quarterback, sit in the pocket, which tells me, even watching Austin P stuff last year, they had more of kind of that style with the quarterback. The difference is their quarterback at Austin P was accurate. They ran the ball really well at Austin P, which I'm going to be talking about that running back in just a minute because he transferred to UTEP. But he doesn't show me anything. He doesn't seem like a real threat on tape. No offense to Cade McConnell. I'm trying to find what I did with his stats. Okay, 54% completion percentage, not great. And only 6 touchdowns, and he only threw for 1,437 total yards for the entire season. Again, you watch the tape, dude has no time. He's running for his life most of the time. Really reminded me a lot of Casey Thompson in the 2022 year with a really bad offensive line, except Cade McConnell didn't have any weapons. So that's the quarterback position. Now, the running back position, this dude, Javon Jackson, watching him with Austin P again, they're playing Chattanooga and some other teams that are small. They're small schools, but man, he runs with power. He's small. He reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew. If you remember Maurice Jones-Drew from back in the day, Jacksonville Jaguars, uh, kind of small stature guy, bowling ball, will run through you. He's not looking to really dance a whole lot. He's a between the tackles type guy, can bounce it out a little bit. But he for Austin P last year, he ran for 1,373 yards and 10 touchdowns. And it shows up on tape. The guy is impressive. And so I think if anything, I see Nebraska from a defensive standpoint probably stacking the box more so, stopping the run, which I think knowing that the offensive line is the really bad part of UTEP, they're still going to struggle. That's even in Rodis's column that's still going to be the portion of their team that struggle the most. Our defensive line, I think, is an absolute strength with the seniors that we have coming back, and then guys like Prince William and Yellen, who's my favorite, Cam Linhart, Riley Van Poppel, guys like that, and then Kai Wallen and James Williams, like they've got dudes up front, and I just think it's going to really be difficult for this team to run. And I don't see them. They do feel like they have some good skill players in the receiver position, but I see our defense as such a strength for this team that I just don't see UTEP doing much of anything, because I really think what's going to happen, which brings me to their defense, is I think their offense wanting to run up tempo is going to go 3 and out a lot, and it's going to put that defense out on the field a ton. And then I think over time, because I really think that Nebraska is going to uh, look to the run game to really start things off. I think they're going to look to run the ball down their throat. And then I think giving Dylan Raiola some easy passes to get him in rhythm. Then as the game goes on, you're going to start to really see that passing game open up, because that defense is going to get exhausted, is what the way I see the game playing out. Just again, just seeing what I saw on tape. And I didn't really, so they're going to run. Sorry, let me back up. Their defense is also 3-3-5. That's what they bring over. So our offense sees a 3-3-5 in practice. They know how it's run. So it's not going to be something unique to them seeing. So with that 3-3-5, they do have, I watching UTEP last year, I thought their defense was bad. Like Brodus kind of looks at it as it was one of the strengths. But like from a defensive line standpoint, which again is they're considered their strength of their team, I saw bad gap integrity by the linebackers and defensive line. Like it didn't look good. Plus they lost their 2 leading tacklers from last year. And so then they've got some transfer guys, which I will say they've gotten some good transfers, one specifically from Florida State over to defense and at linebacker. And so they've got some dudes that have kind of come over. They do have an NFL prospect on their team, defensive lineman Maurice Westmoreland. And last year for UTEP, he had 7.5 sacks, 10.5 tackles for loss, and 37 total tackles, with 26 of those being solo. He made all conference for Conference USA. I really think that even with them feeling very confident in their defensive line, I think our offensive line is going to be bigger. And I just think that they're going to be on the field a ton. I think that the offense is going to go 3 and out a lot, like I said, and it's ultimately going to wear them out. And I think you're going to see that defense get wore out, and ultimately the passing game open up, and you're going to start to see guys like Jamal Banks, Isaiah Nayor. I think you're going to start to see those skill guys really start to get everyone excited for the next week at Colorado, which I'll be making a video about Colorado. So with that being said, I do think UTEP will become a force in Conference USA. I do think that Scotty Walden is a great coach. I just don't think that starting out your season against a team that is well coached by Matt Rule, that has a lot of returning guys who are all just and not just they don't just have guys like that are just returning, like good players who were starters. So Isaac Gifford and Sean Singleton's back, and then you've got um, Tommy Hill, and then you got Nash Hutmacher, and you got James Williams, and you got Ty Robinson, and you got like you can just go on and on and on just on defense. And then on the other side, on the offensive line, you've got some dudes. And I know Teddy Prohaska's out, and I'm going to make a video about 5 reasons why I think that Nebraska will be 9-3 this year. And then I'll have another video that's 5 reasons why I think they could go 6-6 this year. But I think offensive line's a strength against this team. I think our running backs are a strength. And of course, like I think Dylan Raiola is just a stud, man. Like I can't say enough about the guy, the kid. He's just unbelievably mature, and seeing some things in some of these Chasing 3 videos gets me really excited. And I'll talk about some of that later on this week in another video. But that being said, here's my prediction for this game. I'm predicting 42-7 win. I think it's going to be somewhere around there. I think it'll be at halftime, probably somewhere in the 17-3. I know I said 7 in my prediction, but a 17 zip type look, or 17-7 at halftime. And then I think in that second half is when you're going to start to see things happen and really start to take off. So anyway, that being said, I'm really excited for the start of the year. I hope you are. If you liked this video, would you give it a like? Would you consider subscribing if you haven't already? Thank you all for those of you who have subscribed to this channel. It's really awesome that people are enjoying the content. I know that there are people that comment on this channel all the time that I'm an idiot and those types of things and whatever. I don't care. You can keep your comments coming because that just helps the algorithm. But if you would continue to help the algorithm by liking this video, because that helps other people find this channel, share this video with others. A couple of other things. I want you to comment down below your prediction, hearing what I've given you about UTEP. Give me your prediction in the comments. Okay. Also, I will be live streaming every game. So you can come to this channel and just hang out here. I'm going to be talking about what I'm seeing, and you can be watching it on your TV, but it's fun. Like we did it last year, and it's fun to have just jump in the comments when something happens. And it's like, dude, when things go bad, you can commiserate together. And when things go well, like you're celebrating together in the chat, like it's a lot of fun. So come hang out here. If you are out of the country or something like that, and you can't see the game, it's a great way for you to like know what's going on. The game's going on. So make sure to find yourself at this channel on opening day. I'm really excited about it. Also, I used to have a Twitter in the last football season, and then I deleted my Twitter. And then I decided, all right, I need to get my Twitter back up again. So I have started a new Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. And you can find it at Husker Central TV. So twitter.com/ or x.com/ Husker Central TV. If you would follow me there, let me know if you watch the channel. But other than that, hope you have a great week. Thanks so much again for watching this. And as always, go Big Red. See you later.